Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I had to do a little, redo. Hello, 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 everyone. And welcome back to another episode of Sipping Wealth Live, where I bring you news, tips, and tricks on how to wealth up. Um, hold on, y'all. Because last time the Facebook wasn't working. So we're going to make sure that it's Facebook get all this good knowledge too, okay? Um, all right. Let's make sure. Okay, we in there. Yes, y'all. So hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Sipping Wealth Live, where I bring you news, tips, and tricks on how to wealth up, y'all. So today we are talking healthcare because healthcare prices are rising. There's going to be quite a few tax changes as well as we move into 2025. But I did want to make sure I took some time out to touch on healthcare specifically this week. And then a few other updates before I end this live. So, for those of you that are tuned in with me, make sure that you hit that notification bell and subscribe button on the YouTube channel, Sipping Wealth, as well as making sure that you hit the share button and engage with the post so that our friends, families, and loved ones are wealthing up with us and get this insightful information as well. So, like I said, we are talking about, some tips and things to keep in mind as healthcare costs continues to rise. Let me bring my notes down so that it's in front of me, y'all. All right. Let me make sure. Where's my StreamYard? Okay, there we go. Okay, got my comment section open. So if you do have questions or anything that you want to add while I'm live, be sure to drop it in the comment section, even if it's to say hey to your girl or saying that, hey, I checked out the information. This is insightful, some kind of feedback, whatever the jazz is. But I want to make sure that, that this information is actually useful to you. All right. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Oh, I see the lights coming in, y'all. Hello. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get popping. First things first is ultimately when it comes to rising healthcare, we want to make sure that we start saving early. So the most underused, great, like even tax strategy and tax saving strategy is actually to use or create or even set up an HSA plan, a health savings account, y'all. So this is tax-free money that you're putting into this account that you can use specifically towards healthcare. All right. So this money doesn't go away. This money is not like if you don't use it, you lose it. But you do have to use it towards qualifying healthcare expenses. So co-pays, premiums, prescriptions, things like that. So and then you could go onto the IRS site and search all the qualifying expenses and things like that you can use under your HSA health savings account. Like I said, this is so underutilized, y'all. Really make sure, even as business owners, okay, my bad. I'm over here having STA emails coming through and stuff. All right, but even as business owners, this is great because as a business owner, you're able to set up HSA plans for your employees. Especially you as an employee of your business, if you set it up that way, you can go ahead and set it up an HSA plan. So now you do have that deduction as a business owner. have that tax-free money on the personal side that you actually get to utilize towards your healthcare costs, y'all. So, like I said, this is dedicated money for your healthcare expenses. Set up that HSA account, y'all. It's not too difficult. If you need guidance or information about that, reach out, send a message, set up a consultation. The consultations are free at Strategic Tax Accountants. Okay, set up that 15-minute call. All right, so that you can get some more insight. But however you want to put it, or however you want to go approach it, make sure that you go ahead and set up that HSA account. All right. The next is to understand your health insurance. So just like you want to make sure that you kind of revisit your car insurance and things like that, you want to revisit your health plan, your health insurance plan, and see what it covers and see what you're not actually taking advantage of. And also see what your deductible out of pocket minimums and maximums are, your co-pays, things like that, so that you can have a full understanding of what your healthcare or your potential insurance cost is. And then this allows you to plan for future expenses. Oh, shoot, I know that I have to do this procedure or whatever the case may be this year or next year, where I'm looking to do this particular thing. So you want to make sure, hey, what does your insurance cover, and whether or not you have to go and get a new insurance, or maybe you have to make sure that you're actually taking advantage of what your insurance has to offer. But make sure that you have an actual understanding, a good understanding of what your insurance is actually covering, your health insurance is covering. All right. The other is, I know I just touched on making sure that you have an HSA account, but we're back on the HSA account. Like I said, it is so underutilized. All right. People always ask me, hey, what can I do to save on taxes? You know, oh my God, da da da. Retirement, health savings account. You know, like these are quick and easy vehicles that you can put money to the side for things that you're already spending money on. You know, you have healthcare costs, you have healthcare premiums and things like that, co-pays that you can use your HSA account towards. I'm like, yo, I shouldn't really have that in my mouth. All right. The next thing is touching on HSA accounts is to actually maximize that HSA account, especially as you get older. Healthcare actually increases as you age. Generally, right? Like taxes. Taxes aren't going down, they're going up over time. So you want to make sure you're accounting for things like that. So in this case, go ahead, if you have the ability to, go ahead and max out that health savings account. Go ahead and because like I said, it is tax-free money. This is money you don't have to pay taxes on, that you're already going to be spending on healthcare costs. All right. So if you have a high deductible plan, health plan, having an HSA account is perfect, because the money in the HSA account can go towards paying that deductible, paying those co-pays. You know, and like I said, tax-free growth, the withdrawals, if it's through for medical expenses, are tax-free. All right. This is huge. Set up the HSA account. Okay, y'all. I'm probably gonna say it again, you know, later in the live, but okay, I'm gonna go to the next tip. The next thing is to consider long-term care insurance. So I am licensed with my 215 for health and life insurance. So I'm able to write life insurance and health insurance contracts, right? So when doing this and actually learning this, I was like, oh, and learning the industry and everything, there are quite a few, you can actually add a lot of the times the long-term care riders onto your life insurance policies. So now you have a built-in ride-along rider with your life insurance that has long-term care attached to it. But on the other note, you know, back to this, is consider getting long-term care insurance. Now, this is generally for like your older individuals, to help out when general like health insurance doesn't cover like nursing home care or in-home assistance. Does this sometimes affect young people as well? Yes. because there are young people that do have to have in-home assistance and actually live in home living in living facilities as well. But in this case, considering long-term care insurance helps because it helps offset that rising cost over time for the long-term care. All right, especially if you know that, hey, you know, I have this going on health wise, whatever the case may be. I may need some long term care in the future. Or maybe if it's something that you're going through right now, then consider, like I said, consider that long term care insurance, even for your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, uncles, whatever the case may be. This is, you know, I highly recommend considering that long term care insurance. The next is to take advantage of preventative care. Y'all, I know we in that day and age where we're like self-care, 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 but it is so real. Okay. Shoot, drop it in the comment section. What do you do as far as for preventative measure? Preventative care. One of the things that I make sure I do is I make sure that my dental hygiene and everything is very important to me. So if I don't even have health insurance, in the past, if I didn't have health insurance at that time, I made sure I had dental insurance. Because look, I feel like when the dental stuff starts happening and things like that, and all the bacteria and the caves and all that, it affects different areas and within your body as well. Outside of that, massages, checkups, actually going to see your physician, even if you're like, hey, you know, I don't want to take the prescriptions and things like that, but actually knowing what your health issues are, because the earlier you catch them, the better. Especially, you know, especially because treatments tend to increase as far as the cost over time. So if you could get in front of the health condition as soon as possible, that's going to just lower your bill overall. So preventative care, right? If you're doing massages, I used to do massage every month on a like book my call. Hey Carmen, I'm coming through, especially during tax season. Oh Lord, because y'all, I deal with numbers all day and I'm strategizing and I'm taking in a lot of energies and everything. I need time to woosah, you know. Also, exercising, walk, you know, drink, healthy eating, all that. You know, take advantage of that preventative care. That is crucial, y'all. You know, take care of yourself. I know life be lifing, but you know, you're your most important asset. Invest in your health. Okay. You know, it's one thing you spend so much money on buying, you know, designer, or I want to go on vacation, or I want to do this and that. You spend so much money on just spending on, you know, going out to eat, brunches, whatever the case may be. But what if you actually said, hey, I'm going to invest in my health? I'm going to make sure that I have a more balanced diet. I'm going to make sure that I actually, you know, put in 30 minutes a day to actually exercise and move my body. Or I'm gonna cut out, you know, eating red meat and just cut it to once a month or whatever. I'm gonna cut out eating chicken every day. I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna add more vegetables into my diet. I'm gonna add more water. Some of y'all be running away from water, okay? I'm just saying. You know, drink some water. The next tip I want to bring up is to also plan for Medicare. And actually, especially for my older folks, look into Medicare and what it actually covers. Okay. And then consider supplemental insurance on top of it for what the Medicare is not covering. Um, you know, look into it. That the sooner the better, so you're aware of this and you know that, hey, maybe I'm gonna have to get a supplemental insurance, and you can budget for that. The earlier you plan for this, the better. Okay. The next is to estimate your future cost of insurance. There are online calculators, y'all, so you don't have to go in blind. There are online calculators available where you can estimate your healthcare costs, you know, based on the age of retirement, the year you plan on retiring, your family's health conditions, your current health. you can use those online calculators to come up with your healthcare costs. Yeah, it's a quick Google search. People be asking me some Googleable questions, and I'm just saying Google would have had the questions for you, real quick and easy. But Google that online healthcare calculator, okay? And just calculate how much it's gonna cost you. Hey, I plan on retiring at 50 years old, and yeah, we're not gonna talk about it. No, it's about my 30th birthday, y'all. Ooh. So 20 years from now, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm retiring. What is my healthcare cost is gonna what will my healthcare costs generally look like? Depending on my family's health issues, my health issues, concerns, or things like that, or my current health, I should say. The next is to review your prescription drug costs. If you are on prescriptions, ask your doctor about the generic alternatives. Amazon actually offers some uh, uh, prescription plans and things like that. So check that out. But also, if you do have your pharmacy prescriptions, you have your online prescribers, things like that. But ask your doctor about the generic and different alternatives, cost saving options for your prescriptions if you do have that. Or even in the future, have that in mind where you're like, hey, I want to this in the future. How is that going to affect my health? Am I going to need this, or what kind of prescriptions are we looking at? Ask questions, y'all, based on what you see yourself, things that you want to do, whatever the case may be. I kind of touched on this a little earlier. Is considering supplemental insurance. So like if Medicare or Medicaid doesn't cover everything that you need, then getting a supplemental insurance that's going to offset that cost. Okay. Budget. Yeah, I say this every live. I know y'all tired of this. But every live, and I'm gonna say it again: budget, budget, budget. You gotta keep a budget, because if you don't tell your money where it has to go, your money's just gonna go, and you're gonna wonder, hey, what happened to my money? Okay, so where is my money? That's a little TikTok thing. I need to stop. Okay, all right, but yes, budget, 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 budget for your healthcare expenses. Okay. Employer sponsored health benefits. So if your employer doesn't offer health benefits, maybe you want to ask them, hey, employer, or before you even get hired, or hey, you've been with the company a while. Hey, do you plan on offering health benefits, or can we speak about some health benefits that you can offer as an increase in pay or some kind of arrangement with your employer? But generally, employer-sponsored plans could be, a benefit. They could be cheaper sometimes. So really identifying what your employer plans are and taking a benefit, making sure you're taking advantage of it, y'all. Because a lot of times your employer is offering super discounts on gym memberships, wellness programs, FSA plans. They match you with the FSA plans, things like that. Preventative care initiatives. A lot of employers do offer this. So making sure they're actually taking advantage of this. And this goes back to that preventative care that I mentioned earlier. All right. So, hey, take advantage of that employer-sponsored health benefits. All right. If they do offer vision, a lot of larger companies they just throw in vision, and it's not it doesn't come out of pocket to you, or maybe the premium is very small as far as what you're paying out of pocket. What's another one that some employers even offer pet insurance. The list goes on. So checking out what your employer has to offer. The next is to make sure that you are informed about healthcare policy changes. I know this is kind of like, oh man, I got to look up what the healthcare changes are, but just stay in preview as to, hey, what changes are happening that's affecting you. And maybe even go on a step further and asking your physician about this. If you don't have a physician, get connected with them. I have a couple of great ones in my network as well. But yes, ask your physician, about different changes. Look it up. What's going to make sure that you're informed overall. The next thing I want to make sure I hit on is make sure that you're comparing providers and services and things like that. So, um, making sure that you are getting the best care, and also that you're not, that you're taking into account your budget as well. Not just saying, oh, I'm just going to get the cheapest thing out there because, it's whatever, but actually figuring out, hey, what your needs are. Does it align with it? Does it pay for it? Hey, what's the pricing look like? And is it within my budget and my means? And then ultimately make sure that you are planning for, have a fund, or really you should already have an emergency fund or starting to build one, or working on building your emergency fund, but making sure you have that emergency fund because there can be unexpected health issues. And that's why making sure that you have things set up like life insurance policies, whole life, IULs, it's another variable lives, whatever, something already set up, because health concerns could be unexpected as well. Things happen all the time, that affect individuals' health, and things happen. We can't tell what the future may hold. We could only hopefully plan for it. But if we know anything so far is that, hey, things don't tend to go to plan, but they, at least they could be in the general arena of that. But the plan actually helps provide the direction. So making sure that you're planning for this by having these certain insurances and vehicles within your wealth house, so that when if something comes up, you're not stuck and you're like, oh shoot, they shoulda, coulda, woulda. Because shoulda, coulda, woulda is a terrible place to be. Right. We don't want to have to sit there and be like, dang, I could have did this and this to prevent this from happening. All right. So making sure that we are staying in front of it. Um, Again, I want to make sure that I touch back on the HSA plan. I know I said this already a few times during the live, but it is critical. I mean, I am a tax accountant, so I am going to push this because it has a great tax incentive, as well as making sure that you are actually planning and putting money away. Really, everything outside of making sure that you're researching your provider and the services that I mentioned throughout this live goes back into budgeting and making sure you have the proper funds for this. So it goes to that HSA account, putting money away in that HSA account. Again, this is tax-free, deductible, like tax-free money. So you're putting in tax-free money into this account. It's growing tax-free. And when you withdraw the funds out of this account, for medical expenses, it's tax-free. So this is, like I said, a huge tax incentive for those of you that have money sitting and you're like, oh my gosh, I have a tax bill. Go ahead and fund that HSA plan, because you're going to end up using that money. And there's a lot of different things that you don't even realize can be covered by your HSA plan. A lot of your preventative care, your HSA account can pay for that. Also, Amazon, when you're purchasing, women, when we're purchasing our products and things like that, a lot of that actually can be paid for by our HSA plan. So this is stuff that we already got to purchase every month or whatever. So we can actually use that HSA plan to purchase this. Your Walgreens expenses, CVS, things like that. Not your food and stuff, but there's a lot of things, like I said, that qualify under for your HSA plan. And then if your employer does offer an FSA, then taking advantage of that, especially if they match or put it into it for you. So going ahead and taking advantage of that. All right, y'all. So I wanted to make sure I hit on those gems with you all today. Oh, y'all, hold on. Okay, I'm having a good. Okay, I wanted to make sure I hit on those gems with y'all today, so that we could make sure that we are, we're taking advantage of our different insurances, different vehicles that we have at our disposal, so that we can wealth up overall, but that we can make sure we are making practicing preventative care and taking care of ourselves overall. Because increasing and growing our wealth is one thing, but making sure we're in good health to enjoy our wealth and for the longevity and quality of life, we need to make sure that we're taking care of this part as well. So that's what I want to make sure I touch on this topic with you all today. If you do have questions or inputs, feedback, make sure that you drop it in the comment section. Thank you, thank you, thank you for those that are live with me. For those that are in Jacksonville, Florida, be sure to join me for the Sipping Wealth Mixer this Thursday at 6 p.m. And this time around is going to be at Beach Bowl. So we're going bowling. So the change of plans is in celebration of my birthday. But also making sure that we continue to engage, network, meet other professionals, wealth up, have a community where we're not feeling alone and stuck, but a good family bonding and energy and vibes, but also while bowling and having a great time as well. So, like I said, thank you, thank you, thank you, y'all, for tuning in to another episode of Sipping Wealth Live. And I will see y'all back next Tuesday for another episode. Have a wonderful, wonderful, great Tuesday. And let's not forget, wealth up.